Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Chad said that Ty was going to start. Just wondering how you feel about that, how you anticipate Ty doing?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited for Ty to get an opportunity. Obviously, we're going on the road in a hostile environment, and he's going to have to be, he's going to be ready. He's going to be on his game. He's going to have to take a great week of practice. And good thing is it's Monday, and we got time to, to get the game plan in and have him ready to go. And I think he will be. He's very excited, and I think he's going to do good.
John, I just want to get your assessment of the last game, what was going on, the little miscommunication with the quarterback and the receivers, and just your overall takes.
Yeah, a lot of that, with those plays, they're kind of a read play for us. When we were running that concept, it's a read. The receiver and the quarterback have to be on the same page. And that's something, being in this system just, a couple months together, especially, when you got Mike Woods out there as a freshman, they've got to be on the same page. And obviously a lot of the time they weren't, and that's where we got to get better. We got to work that in practice more than we already do. And we've got to be on the same page from a receiver quarterback standpoint, and I don't think we were the other day. They were able to make it right a couple times, and obviously you saw some good big plays down the field, but just wasn't consistent enough in reading those things and being on the same page.
Part of not playing Ty the other day, not only to get the freshman in, but just where he would have just a complete kind of clean slate for this game.
Yeah.
Also, Colton Jackson, just how do you feel he did, and what do you look for him this week?
Yeah, Coach Morris told me on the headset he didn't feel like it was going to be fair to put Ty in when we were obviously down pretty bad late in the third quarter, and I thought Coach thought that was a good time to get those freshmen some work and see what they could do, and that's what we did. I thought Colton played. He got back in there. Obviously he's a little rusty. And a little bit out of shape, but I think that with a good week of practice and just getting back into the flow of things, I think he's going to be just fine.
Coach, how does practice go with Ty being named the starter? Does he get what percentage of the reps? And I guess Cole is the backup now. And is there like a certain package of plays that you work him with, or does he work every play?
You talking about Cole working a package?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the way we break up our reps, Ty will get all the one reps this week. Cole will get some, obviously 2 reps, and then continuing to bring on Connor and John Stephen as well as much as we possibly can. But from a rep standpoint, it's definitely Ty, number 1 reps, and Cole will get a lot of the 2 reps.
Yeah, Joe, how'd you think the freshman quarterbacks did? I know it was obviously kind of rough sailing they had to go into. And Mike Woods, he had a big game. What did he do well, and how'd you think he handled all the being suspended and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think one of the positive things with Connor and John Stevens, neither one of those 2 guys were scared. They were ready to go. Talked to them on the headset before they went in, and man, they were excited. They were ready. Didn't sense that they were nervous at all. I think it was tough on Connor and John Stephen because the field position was just really bad. I mean, we were backed up in our own end zone. Felt like every time Connor was out there, and John Stephen when he got out there as well. And we're trying to bring that guy along. Don't try to do a whole lot out of your own end zone with the true freshman. And so we were trying to bring him on, just throwing some nice, easy, quick game stuff and I thought Connor did a really nice job. John Stephen made a play with his feet, obviously got called back with a holding penalty. But the thing I thought with those guys is they never flinched. They were ready, and they were excited to get in there and get some reps. And then Mike, obviously Mike was out game 1, and game 2 was limited reps-wise. I think he had like 9 or 10 snaps in Colorado State game, and to get him out there and to see what he can do. Made some great catches. Obviously, we talked about the miscommunications with the quarterback, but he made some unbelievable catches for us down the field and on some intermediate stuff that I think we know what we've got in Mike. We're excited about him and his future here. I think he's got a really bright future, and he's going to continue to get better by working hard in practice and developing his skill set. and can't wait to see what he looks like 3 or 4, 5, 6 games from now.
Chad mentioned the Auburn front seven might be among the best he's seen. Can you just talk about the overview of their defense?
Yeah, their front seven's really good. Their D line, you look at their measurables, and they're big. They're strong. You see that on film. They play with low pad level. They strike you with their hands. They do a really good job of knocking O-linemen back on tape. And they're definitely going to be a challenge for us up front that we're going to have to be ready for. And their secondary, they play a lot of man. They get their hands on receivers. They do a good job of rerouting you, and you got to do a good job of his hand fighting combat. You got to get their hands off of you and create separation versus man. But they're one of the better defenses we've seen in a long time, and they do a really good job schematically, and they got a lot of good personnel in those positions to play that scheme.
You guys took a lot of deep shots. Was that kind of what you saw the defense giving you guys? Was that maybe bad decisions by Cole making the reads, because a lot of times it was into double coverage? What were you seeing, and why so many?
Yeah,
deep balls?
Where he did throw it into double coverage, going into the north end zone on our sideline. That was on Cole. That was a bad read on his part. But the other ones were by design. We called a lot of those. We felt like we could run by their guys, and Jordan Jones did run by one of their corners, and unfortunately, we had a little wind behind us, and the ball sailed out of bounds. But we felt like we could run by their guys, and we wanted to take some shots to loosen them up. Their safeties were playing really incredibly low and giving us man coverage, so we felt like going into the game, if that's how they were going to play us, we needed to take some shots down the field. And obviously we hit Mike Woods on one, which we could have hit a couple more and left Jordan Jones in bounds on the one. But and then obviously the other one in the north end zone too on their sideline of Jordan. We got a 50-50 ball there. We'd like to see Jordan make that play.
Joe, Chad was here and talked about kind of reducing, clarify, maybe contain, not do so much. Is that kind of normal early season assessment of where you are offensively? Yeah,
I think we knew going into last week that they were a good defense. Obviously, they've went to the Conference USA Championship last year, and they've done a really good job in the 3 or 4 years that Coach Luttrell has been there of recruiting and doing those things. So we felt like we had to carry a couple things in that to try to help us in some areas and give us some answers. We really tried to last week. We tried to create some double teams, and we did. We stayed in 12 personnel a lot and had 2 double teams at the point of attack most of our run game. And unfortunately, we didn't knock them off the ball the way we felt that we could. That's where we've got to get better. But yeah, we're going to go back and simplify this thing, make sure these guys, at least they know exactly what they're doing, and try to put them in the best chance for them to succeed that we possibly can.
When you go back and look at Ty's quarters that he's played, some of the success he's had, how much can you build off of that, and what have you maybe seen from him building off of that in practice?
Well, one thing about Ty is, like I said all along, he's a hard worker. He comes to work every day, gives his teammates the best Ty Storey he can every day with a great attitude. I've seen him really push other guys and lead, and I think that the games that he's got in, obviously the first game, he did some really good things for us. Was able to lead us on a couple drives that put us in the end zone. And so we'll definitely go back and look at those plays and those series that he was in there and see exactly what fits this week and see what we can build on moving forward with Ty.
Joe, the throw game to the tight ends was so big for you in spring, but maybe they haven't been as targeted as much in the first 3 games. Can you speak to, their impact and what you want to do with the tight ends?
Yeah, well, we have targeted those guys. The other day we ran a little special play we call, and we had Jeremy running down the sideline, matched up on their defensive end, and would like to have seen Cole, give him a chance on that ball. I think Jeremy would have at least had a 50-50 chance to make a play, and if he catches it, he might score. We targeted C.J. O'Grady other day when Connor was in there. And obviously we started in 12 personnel 2 games ago and hitting Cantrell to start the game. So we are targeting those guys. It's just kind of how the defense is playing us, you know, and a lot of that is by their scheme against us and kind of taking that guy away because they know we like to use that guy a lot. And then even the other day on one of our plays, we called one of our special plays for our tight end, and it ended up being the throw to Mike Woods. So just kind of how it is. I mean, it's not that we're not targeting those guys. We are. It's just we're not getting the looks that we need to get those guys open and get those guys the ball. But they are catching some balls, which is important. You know, obviously Jeremy caught the ball in the flat the other day, made a good play with it. And he's caught a couple of balls in the flats past couple games too. So, you know, we're continuing to build on those things and continuing to get those guys open and get those guys free is a big part of what we do, and we're going to continue to work on that. Thanks, Coach. All right, thank you, Joe.